for married men. Just trying to encourage the men of the church, and we're going to be meeting this week if you could come out. We're just trying to encourage the married men to just do a little bit more to love your wives. And to his credit, at 85 years old, Richard's been attending at the point, how long have you been married?
A long time.
He's been married a long time. Years. It's still coming that he could actually do something more to love his wife. So that's a credit and a testimony to him. So last week, we gave little homework assignments. Last week it was encouraging the men to set up a date, take your wife on a date. It could be anything, it could be big, small, but try to work at getting your wife alone on a date if you can. And it doesn't end last week. If you weren't able to do it, ladies are like, I didn't go on a date. Well, he still has time. So Richard wants to be a good student for Pastor Lloyd, so he says, I'm going to set up a date. And he'd been hearing around the church about this movie called Courageous, all right? But what you might not know about Richard is he's legally blind, right? Or very close. He's legally blind. Sylvia drives. So Richard says, all right, I got to set up this date for my wife. He gets all excited. I'm going to take her to see this movie, Courageous. But because he's like me, he doesn't have that great of a memory, but he remembers two things. It's one word, the name of the movie, and starts with the letter C. So he calls the movie theater and he says, listen, I want to know if you have a good movie, it's one word, and starts with the letter C. Right? And they say, yes, we do. And it's playing at this time. So he's like, great. So he sets up the date with his wife, pays the $1 million it costs now to buy tickets, right? Goes in, sits down in the movie theater with his honey, and the movie starts. Richard, by his own, says he didn't make it 2 minutes in the movie, and they're swearing their heads off. And they turn one to another and say, I don't think this is the right movie. Because they were in Contraband. Which the person in both said is a good movie, all right? They weren't in Courageous, they were in Contraband. So Richard came out of the theater, went up to the lady who sells tickets and said, that's not the good movie I thought it was. So she said, well, maybe you'll like this other movie down here, so they went to some other movie. So even us men, if we try, it doesn't always still work out all that well. Right? I just